Today, I'm here with my book. It's called My Appetite for Destruction. I hope you enjoy it. And plus, we got a single, and I'm very glad. Thank you for.
And scene.
And scene.
Stephen Adler, Chips Enough. We're here for Adler's Appetite and the book. And we have a single out coming out, and we're on tour, 50-city tour. And once again, coming to see our brother Howard Stern.
And we love you, Howard. Thank you for having us.
Chip's here with Steven. Steven's promoting his new book. Steven wrote a book called Stephen Adler's book, My Appetite for Destruction.
Hey there.
There he is. There's Steven. And there's Chip. Look at Chip's Enough. Hey, Steven.
Is Steven going to walk right out of the studio?
Steven
He keeps walking.
Let's go, brother. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Yeah, sit down. We'll talk.
Well, where's the monkey crew?
There's the crew.
Come on, you got to get on mic, Steven.
Steven, get on mic. All right.
He's
Hey, Chip.
spreading the love all around.
Beautiful, wonderful.
How are you? I'll hug you later.
I love you, Robin.
Steven's got a death grip on you. He's like a boa constrictor. You could squeeze a man to death, couldn't you?
Nothing like good love, Howard.
Look at his team up, huh? Chip's Enough, one of the great guitar players of all time.
Great
This
guitar
fucking
players,
guy-
songwriters.
Hail you.
Before I get into your new book, which is interesting, Chip's Enough. I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. This fucking guy should have been one of the biggest rock stars on the planet.
He will be.
Well, listen to me. I'm talking about
Planet's
his...
almost done. Come
Yeah,
on.
man, come on. We're almost dead.
Got to hurry up.
This fucker can play his ass off, can he?
Of course he
I
can.
saw
That's
him
why I
play-
work with him.
Years ago, I saw him play in a club, with Enough's Enough.
Love
He was
Enough's
up on
Enough.
stage. You have the charisma, the chops to play. Been doing it your whole life, right?
Thank you, my friend. You have always been so loyal to me, and you're a family with me the rest of your life. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
bet.
Always.
I'm
Where-
dedicating my life to this profession.
Where you living now? Chicago?
I live in Los Angeles at his house.
At
Studio
Steven's
City.
house?
Yeah,
You're living in Steven's house.
right in the house.
Studio City.
This fucker should be living in a mansion.
It is a mansion.
I know, but
So he made it.
His own mansion.
yeah, but Chip needs his mansion. He needs a moat with alligators and everything.
Trim in the backyard pool.
That's coming next. That's what we're gonna. That's what we want to accomplish with Adler's Appetite.
I always said Chip's going to be one of the biggest stars. I had all the money on this guy.
Well, after we did that metal show,
Right.
I told Chip because he would always go around, that Chippy, I'm just twinkle twinkle.
Well, listen,
Little star. I said after we did that metal show, there's no more twinkle twinkle.
I'm just going
You're
on
a
record as
star,
saying
baby.
Chip was supposed to have it all as far as I'm concerned. He got his share of pussy, don't get me wrong.
He lived it all.
He lived the rock star lifestyle, but the big payday wasn't there, was it, Chip?
No,
Never.
that money went to bankruptcy.
It's bullshit.
Not yet. Not it will. It's coming. It's on its way.
Steven, for every band out there that's a Guns N' Roses, there's 10 million that didn't really get the big payday, right?
That's why Guns N' Roses was such a unique thing, and like Aerosmith or Queen. It's hard to get 4 or 5 guys together that actually. There's so many musicians, but
Yeah.
if you get 4 or 5 guys that had the same goals, the same dream, and the same drive, it's
And
very
the odds
hard.
of meeting each other.
Yeah.
But you were friends with Slash since you were what?
11.
11 years old. Have you reconciled with Slash? Well,
Of course.
I remember on Celebrity Rehab, you cried one time. You said, I miss Slash.
One time.
Many times. Since Celebrity Rehab, have you maintained a sober lifestyle?
I've had, to be honest, I've had, as all addicts, relapses.
Right.
But I've got 5 months going right now.
Right
and
now.
It's been right now.
How you feeling?
I feel wonderful.
You feel clear?
I have a new book. I got a new single.
When he relapses, what does he do?
What does he do?
Well, you know what? This is really
Heroin.
no. You know what happened on
No.
this last relapse?
Right.
And it might sound kind of crazy because of all the drugs I have done.
Pot.
Oxycontin. I never did that before.
You found a new
You
one.
found something new.
Yeah, Slash
love it.
actually told me about that.
Now,
And
they
he-
call that hillbilly heroin. So why try it, though? You knew.
it was one of those,
Chip,
Oh,
we
this
see,
won't
moment.
hurt.
Chip, we see
Yeah.
this. We see
and
this
then
all
3
the
weeks
time.
later, I'm back in rehab.
Oh.
Chip, we see this all the time. The rock and roll lifestyle, the drugs. It's too much, right? You smoke weed a lot, right?
Tons.
Tons. Now, when you're around Steven, you're recording with your new band, do you try to curtail your weed smoking around him at all?
Of course
No,
not.
I'm not bothering him when it comes
Yeah,
to
that doesn't bother
It's a
me.
small part of my lifestyle.
Nothing bothers me with other people. I mean, I wouldn't particularly want to watch people shooting up
Right.
or smoking crack, because it's an ugly thing to see to begin with.
It's tempting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and but
Because
Chip,
I'm an addict,
but
and
Chip,
I'll
I
always
know,
be one.
But Chip smokes so much weed. I know that he's like a cloud of smoke around.
I'd
him.
rather him
like
smoke
Pigpen.
weed
Yeah.
than cigarettes.
Linus,
Okay.
the dirty blanket.
All right, so let's get down to it. The new book is out. Steven Adler has written a book, believe it or not. That's right. They said he'd never write it, but he did.
I did
And,
with Larry Spangliola.
And the book is called My Appetite for Destruction. It's got the Guns N' Roses logo on the cover, and it is in stores now. And it is an incredible life. It is an incredible life.
Well, it's been very emotionally and spiritually healing for me doing this.
The thing that kills me, and this is what kills me, because I love musicians and I love rock and roll and I love Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
The odds, let's get back to it. The odds of making it in this business are a gazillion to one. And then for you guys not to be together, for you to destroy it with the drugs and everything, it kills me. Because Chip knows how rough it is.
And I do too.
Yeah, you know how many guys that you played with, and they were all around at the same time, and none of them made it.
Yeah, none of them's doing anything.
Yeah.
And
Let's review. Let's review.
No.
This is all from the book now. Steven started smoking weed at age 11.
Good Lord. Where'd you get weed at 11?
From Chip.
believe me, kids out there at 11 years old are smoking weed.
Really?
Right.
There's a lot of masturbation, a lot of drinking, and a lot of smoking going on
Oh, my
at the
God.
age
At
of 11.
Now, Steven, is everything
What
in the book
happened to
true?
the age of
Because
innocence?
I remember from Celebrity Rehab when it was very dramatic. Your mother came into a
yes.
session, and she says, "Oh, Steven lies about everything. Steven's lying about everything he says. I was a great mother. Steven's full of shit, basically," and it set you off. You just were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Where's your relationship with your mother, and is she telling the truth that you are exaggerating?
There's some exaggeration because once you at the period that my mom came into my life again there with on the Celebrity Rehab thing.
Right.
I was coming off of the drugs, so I was very cloudy, and things weren't.
But cloudy schmouty.
Yeah.
But cloudy schmouty.
I didn't lie. She definitely did those things, and it hurt me very much.
I mean, the things you said about your mother on Celebrity Rehab, I felt for you. I ached for you because you said, "I was thrown out of my own home. My mother remarried. I guess your stepfather or something didn't want you in the house. She stuck up for the stepfather, threw you out on the street at age 14. 11. At age 11, you were thrown out of your chip. Can you imagine?
My mother would never do that.
But at the time, you don't think you think that's the worst thing happening. But now, 30 years later, if she didn't, I would have never met Slash.
Is she saying you're
all this wouldn't have happened?
Well, that's true.
But then again, the last 20 years wouldn't have sucked either.
You mean you met Slash?
But I did make him suck. I made it suck.
You met Slash because when you were thrown out of the house, was he in a similar situation? He was living on the street kind of thing?
No. I went to live with my grandmother.
Right.
And he was living with his grandmother.
Right.
And we just met at school.
And you were kindred spirits because you both didn't have your parents.
Yeah.
You ached for your parents.
And we had a desire to do music, play music.
Why was he living with his grandparents? What had his parents done?
Well, his mother and father separated.
Right.
Nothing bad. His parents are wonderful.
They ran off, did their own thing, and their son had to go live with grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. Well, his mom and dad were
unfucking
Thank God for grandma and grandpa.
You never had
I
children.
learned a lot from grandma and grandpa.
You never had children of your own, did you?
No, I have 3 dogs.
You have 3 dogs. And the reason you probably never had children is you said to yourself, you know what? I never got to be a child, really. I had to leave my home. I can't give anything to a child because
or maybe
I'm
you
still...
secretly say, those bastards are they do nothing but cause trouble.
Yeah. Look what the trouble I caused my parents. I don't want to go through what they went through.
Stephen, because I think this is so unthinkable, how does one's mother come to you and tell you to get out? How did she do it? She walks up to you and says, goodbye.
No. I just came home from school and all my stuff was on the sidewalk.
Wow.
And then my grandmother, showed up like a half hour later. I was sitting on the street.
Fuck.
Well, my
Well,
my
of course
mother,
you're angry at her.
Yeah. Well, I have abandonment issues. I'm
You're
sure.
goddamn right you do.
And then what happened with Slash? I felt abandoned again. So then I totally went over the edge. You got to read the book, and you'll see all the everything in there.
If
He
my
doesn't have
mother,
abandonment issues. He was abandoned.
you don't have an imaginary abandonment, but your mother must have been embarrassed when she went on Celebrity Rehab. So she goes, "Oh, Steven's making it up. I never threw him out of the house."
She told me this after that came out. She said she's in this restaurant in Vegas, and a gentleman walks up to her and says, "Deanna, you're not the worst mother in the world." And he points to his mother and goes, "She is."
Your mom loved you, Chip, right?
Yeah, I've been so blessed with a great mother and father. They really set the tone for me. And when you were talking about Pot before, I don't think anything I've done has hindered my career. I've got 19 albums with Enough Snuff, a long, illustrious career. I've done records with Journey and Santana and Steve Miller Band, all these bands, and now I'm playing with Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses.
Right.
We're making brand new music, Adler's Appetite, and I'm real happy about it. I think we got a good chance to one more punch.
Understood. Steven,
we got a big punch, my brother. We're not done.
Going back to the book, we're going to get to the band, but first I want to promote your book.
Yes, thank you.
Did you ask your mom why she threw you out? In other words, if I came home and all my shit was on the, and believe me, my shit was embarrassing. I've seen what I would have ended up on the front lawn, bunch of nudist magazines, and a porno reel. When you and dildos, but I don't want to talk about it. All right? Maybe one or two gay magazines. I don't know what was in there. But listen to me. What did you?
Now I know why your father used to always say, "Just shut up, Mom, you moron."
Why did you? For God's sake, did you say when your mother throws you out and you're 11? Now I remember being 11. You're a little kid.
I look at kids now; they're unbelievable.
Did you get on your hands and knees and say, "Mommy, please don't throw me out"?
No, when I look back, how it all started was when I met a garage band who were, older kids, lived down the street, had a garage band, and it was the first time I ever drank.
Right.
And I beer bonged 6 Old English 800s.
Geez, you dive right in.
What a way to start.
I sort of remember I was trying to leave, and then I fall off my bike, and all I remember is like 3 guys walked me back to my house down the street, knocked on the door, and ran. And I walk in, and my mother's having a Tupperware party. And I just look at everybody and just throw up in front of everybody and pass out in my bed.
So you were a bad kid.
I think that was like the beginning.
Right. So your mother had enough.
I wasn't bad.
Right.
I wasn't hurting people. I was just young and energetic and wanted to experience life.
A real mother would have put her arm around you and said, "Steven, you're hurting yourself. I need to talk to you about this. What are you doing? If you're drinking at 11 years old."
Well, that was just the first time. It didn't go nuts.
But it would have been a nice, reassuring thing. But she threw you out, and there you were. And as you say, you've turned it into something good. And you said, "Well, I wouldn't have met Slash." But please, give me a break.
You could live without that.
Yeah, believe me. I've met Slash. I'm fine.
I had a great, besides, in my book, I talk about the sexual abuse and the drug abuse.
Now, let me talk to you about
sexual
abuse for a second, because this is unbelievable to me. You've had so much gay sex, really.
No.
I mean,
I didn't have so much gay sex, Howard.
You attracted to Chip at all?
We'll discuss the hand jobs and Diamond Dave and $100 he owes me later.
I'm going to read you some stuff. I'm going to read you some stuff here. When Steven was 14 years old and in the 8th grade, he had sex. This is a female. The 36-year-old mother of Slash's girlfriend.
Good Lord.
So Slash is in a room fucking his girlfriend, and you go and fuck the mother.
Yes.
You
How
are
does that
something.
work?
Yeah.
It's one of those things in life that just happens.
Was the mother super hot?
She was a very sweet lady, yes.
That's a great experience.
So you're sitting there talking to her while Slash is doing her daughter, and
well, yeah. Well, actually, she's the one who taught me how to roll joints.
All right, here's the molestation. Here's the molestation stuff, because this is really not funny.
Yes.
All right. As a teenager, you went to a club. They would give you Quaaludes, and then they would have their way with you.
No. You make it all crazy.
Well, this is what it says.
This was just it was one thing.
Were you misquoted in your own book?
I was misquoted. It was just one time that happened.
The managers of the club.
Yeah, there was an older teenager and an older guy. They gave me drugs.
Right.
And they took advantage of me.
They gave you what, hand jobs and blew you?
They had, took advantage of
The
me.
manager of the club blew you. Did they try to put it in your ass too?
Of course.
They did.
They did.
Oh, I was afraid of that.
Now, Stephen.
Well, you can't get sexually abused and not get fucked in the ass.
But
I
Stephen,
know. I was like,
That's the whole thing of abuse.
Stephen.
I don't want those Quaaludes. They make my ass hurt. Yeah.
Stephen, once that happened to me, I'd be off drugs forever. Forget Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew should have fucked you in the ass. He would have got you right out of that shit. All right, here you go.
No disrespect to Dr. Drew. I love
People
him.
would pull up beside you in their cars, and this is when your life was in drugs and stuff, and ask if I wanted to smoke a joint. I'd be like, sure. The next thing you know, you're completely baked, and they're touching you all over, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. All you know is that an orgasm feels good. Anybody can make you come, and in that state, I didn't have the presence of mind to give a damn. I was used, abused, whatever. So, again, these drugs lead to some gay shenanigans.
Well, yeah, but it's not as many as you make it sound like. But I was growing. This was the mid. This was the late 70s.
Yeah.
Hollywood. I grew up off Santa Monica Boulevard in Fairfax.
I have a gay cousin.
Just walking to Slash's house, there was all the gay bars and stuff like that, and I was a cute young teenage boy.
You were a handsome kid.
Yeah, I mean,
at age 14, Stephen was raped by the guys who invited them to an apartment to get high.
Jeez.
That was the same thing.
And they hurt
that
you
was
badly.
the same people from the club.
Same people in the club.
Yeah, that was the same night.
Did
Same
you
night.
learn not to hang out with those people?
That only happened to one night. It was the club was the Starwood.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And it was off Crescent Heights in Santa Monica. So actually the first club I saw Nikki Sixx play with the band London.
Well, let me tell you something.
I learned how to play drums from hanging at the club and watching all the bands, do sound check and perform. It was just one bad night. But one bad night is all it takes to last a lifetime.
Sure.
So actually what I want to do when I get home is I'm going to make a big fire, and I'm going to throw the book in the fire, and I'm going to take the next 10, 15 years and make a new story with my life.
There you go.
Stephen, but you more than made up.
Take the past.
These few gay experiences, as you say, were behind you because you made up with it with women through the roof.
But do you think that was an overcompensation?
No.
No.
That was a dream come true.
Chip, this guy fucked more women, right?
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
I know you did a lot of sex when you were in Enough's Enough. I saw you one night in a club. There were a whole bunch of broads back there. I didn't know what was going on. But this guy, he puts them all to shame, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been very blessed, as he would say.
Right.
His life started off tough as a kid, and it progressed as he got more successful.
Here's the rock star lifestyle. You'll learn about it in Stephen's new book. Here it is. You ready? Slash and I would get these girls and fuck them back and forth. Now listen to this. Did you do that with your band? Did you fuck some girls and then share with Donnie and this and that and the other thing?
No.
Never.
Anybody, and he had Vicky Fox in his band, so anybody that Vicky was with, nobody wanted to be with.
Who was a better lay, you or Slash, sexually? You have a bigger penis than Slash?
No, Slash is hung like a horse.
He is?
Yeah.
And is he better?
He's part black.
Right.
So he's got that going for him.
You didn't have that.
I'm like you, I'm part Jew.
It became sex everywhere, anywhere, anytime. It just happened. If I saw a girl I approach her, and that would be it. You and me right now. There was no such thing as warming up to the situation. The situation was, hey, bend over and do it.
Down on your knees.
Wow. How many women you think you had sex with in your entire life?
Well, let's just say I had sex with 9 women with Steven Tyler in the back of the tour bus one night.
You write about that night.
Yeah.
You and Steven Tyler, the great Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, a legend.
What
Love
is this
him.
all
Love
this
him.
joint sex, though, Howard?
It's a little gay. If you ask me, there's too many men around when you're having your sex.
Hey, believe me, Steven Tyler's got a huge rig.
Take me back.
So it was difficult, but it was like, hey, this is Steven Tyler. I got to do this.
When you describe in your book,
to happen.
You describe in your book your night with Steven Tyler. You're on the tour bus with him, and there are women there. You're about, what, 9 deep in women?
Yeah.
Okay. And Steven says, watch this. and he begins to orchestrate scenarios.
Yes.
That's his thing.
He's a great producer. Great
what does
director.
that mean, a great producer? What would he say? What would he tell these women
you
to
two
do?
girls go over here. You start eating her pussy. You eat her pussy. You go suck on her teeth. You come over. Both of you are start sucking off Steven over here right now. Oh, you two come over here. You start licking my ass. You start sucking my balls. You start my. And there's just like a pile of flesh in the back of the bus.
When you're seeing something
Who
like
knows
this,
what cock was going in?
Stephen, when
I can't believe I don't have AIDS and I came out of this alive.
Yeah, how did you come out of this alive?
I don't know.
No rubbers are used, right? Everyone's
Of
fucking.
course not.
No babies out of this. Nothing.
No, well, as far as I know.
Did you pull out? Was that your thing, or did you come
Of
inside?
course.
You pull out.
That's what the face is for.
And you never said to yourself, "Oh my God, this is so dangerous." I know I'm pulling out. I could get her pregnant, or she could have AIDS, or something like this. Because you can't have much respect for a woman. I mean, what is with these women? What do you think is going on with them?
Where do you get these women?
Robin, you're a woman. You explain this.
I can't explain this.
You can't explain this?
Stephen, do you become numb to sex and love and all of that kind of thing?
Well, drugs and alcohol, it numbs everything. And when you're young, you could drink and do drugs and still fuck. You could still get a hard on. But once you get like our age, you can't drink like that. You can't do drugs and still get a hard on. And it's like,
Speak for yourself.
You're not doing what they were doing.
I'm high.
Well, now that I'm not doing the drugs.
I'm high right now and I have a boner the size of this room. All right, listen to me. So when you're in the bus with Steven...
Bullshit.
When you're in the bus with Steven Tyler and all of this is going on, is there ever a time, now this might sound crazy to you guys, but is there ever a time you feel bad for the women? Do you ever say to yourself, Jesus Christ, what are they doing with their lives, these broads?
No.
Never.
Never.
It's rock and roll.
It's rock and roll.
There's never
This is a dream come true. I would have girls suck on my cock while I'd be watching Family Guy, and I wouldn't even have a heart on it. It was just for the fact that they would do it.
Wow.
You know, all right, go ahead.
But did you ever, was there ever love?
Yeah, I had my first wife I love, my second wife I love and adore.
Mm-hmm.
When you're involved in a scene like that.
Wendy.
When you're involved in a scene, there's so many bodies on top of bodies. By accident, do you and Steven Tyler start making out and then go, oh, shit.
Say, do you ever touch each other?
I felt his reg.
Oh. You did? You squeezed his rig?
Not outside the pants.
Right.
Because it started off with, he started telling girls what to do, and then I was sitting there going, here, come on, suck on his cock. It's no big deal. Here.
And you're shaking his cock.
Yeah, but he has pants on. You know, I'm going, here, go suck on his cock. Well, I learned a lot from Tyler. He's a very, very amazing man.
Listen to this. Steven and Izzy Stradlin would get blowjobs together. Steven writes, she sucked one of us off while she jacked off the other, and then she would alternate. She swallowed Izzy's load at the moment I came, and I shot all over her face.
Of course. That many a night.
Wild, huh?
Many a night. That's the rock and roll dream.
Do you miss that the most?
No. I'm just glad I got to experience it and come out of it alive.
Is it? But like now, it all seems like a dream, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah, of course.
It wouldn't be bad wouldn't it be bad if you and Chip were there and Robin all of a sudden took her clothes off and started sucking you guys off like the old days? Yeah.
Robin, yes.
She'll never do it.
Fox. Robin the Fox. Oh, I've been thinking about Robin for the last year since I was there last.
Really?
Steven writes.
Stop that.
Steven writes, Duff and I would have contests to see who could get the most blowjobs in a single day, and I won every time. Why did you win?
Because
Are you the cutest?
I worked harder at it. I cared more.
Steven writes,
it was for the band. I was going to do it for the band, and we were going to win.
You're proud of that you got more blowjobs than them.
Well, what teenage boy, young man in his 20s, wouldn't be proud of that?
After a while, don't the blowjobs all blend into one another?
That's what I was saying. I would have them suck on my cock. It wouldn't even be hard.
What are the most?
Just for the fact that they would do it.
What were the most blowjobs in one day?
15
blowjobs, and sometimes you wouldn't even come.
I wouldn't even come. You could come like maybe when you're that age in 20, you come maybe 5-6 times.
I got to tell you something. Sometimes if I'm getting a blowjob and I'm with a woman and it's lasting more than 2 minutes, I feel bad that I'm not coming. And I would think you would have some remorse would say, Chip, you too, right?
Chip's shaking his head. He
absolutely. But Steven would say she sucks all day. He doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like a thimble. He's watching cartoons. He doesn't care.
I mean, Steven, at some point you look down and go, all right, honey, 20 minutes of sucking. It's enough.
It's enough. No. But when you're in your 20s, go ahead.
Do you think that that's a coldness in a sense because you were thrown out of your house, because you didn't have your mother's love? Do you think in a way you were getting back at all women?
I'm pretty sure all of it has to, do with that. Everything has to do with how you grew up and what the experiences you had in your growing, strengthening years.
You had so many women that at one point you write, Slash and you would have orgies with 5 chicks at a time. And if you didn't like the way one of the chicks looked, if she was a little subpar, you'd send her over to your road crew to fuck. Right?
Of course.
Where the girls, you would cripple a girl for life.
You got to take care of the road crew. You got to take care of them.
So in other words, if there are 5 girls, one's real fat and gross, you'd say, hey, honey, you leave. And they would, that must have crushed the girl's spirit, true? I mean, when you think back on it.
There's a lot of fat girls got fucked.
They did. You weren't that discriminating. Well, that's very nice of you.
You got to remember, Slash is walking around with a rig, like 15 inches, okay? He needs something to pack that in.
Now, where does a girl go if she gets rejected by the road crew? Then it's really bad, right?
Where do you go then?
I think you just go home after that. Shoot yourself.
Chip, he lived the ultimate rock and roll dream, right? I mean, because the band was so hugely financially and creatively successful, right? That's the ultimate dream.
That's the dream.
Yeah, and I think when you're that age, he over-abused the privilege.
Exactly, it's true.
It was a gift for him.
It was a gift. It was a gift.
Yeah, I blamed the guys for letting me down, for throwing me out of the band.
Right.
I blamed them, but what I've realized, by doing this book, is they didn't let me down. I let them down.
Now that you're sober, why can't you say to Axl? Why can't you say to Axl Rose, the lead singer, listen, Axl, it's time for a Guns N' Roses to get back. I know you got a band with Chip now and all that, and that can go on as well.
Oh, Axl has a band with...
So what?
I don't know who the hell.
Right, exactly. Why can't you sit down with these guys, be the peacemaker, and say, listen, guys, we had it all. We could have it again. Let's go on tour. Let's do it. I'm now sober. Slash is sober. Axl, come on. Let's sit down and get over it.
Everybody's sober. Duff, Izzy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm really hoping that Axl will read my book and see and realize... Well, I can't call. I don't know how to get hold of him.
You want me to do it with you?
I would love it. But what I want him to do is to read the book, and maybe he'll realize how close. Oh, yes, he does.
He does read.
He's very, very.
Robin says he doesn't read.
No, I saw him reading.
You did see him?
He's a very, very intellectual.
Why did you?
Intellectual guy. But I'm hoping he'll read this and see what we had, and how close we were, and how much it really meant, not just to us, but to the world. And hopefully he'll realize that, hey, whatever happened in the past happened.
The part
it's
of the
over,
book,
it's done. I don't hate any of those guys. I love them.
The part of the book, by the way,
I love Axl.
Did you ever feel Axl's rig?
I've seen his rig. He's another one who walks up. I said, where do these guys come from? The Midwest or something like that with these horse things.
You know who's got a big rig? Man on the couch there. Chip
I know.
Right?
I've seen that thing in action a few times. I know already.
Chip, how big are you? Seriously, how many inches are you at this point?
Let me see his arm.
I'm very grateful.
You are grateful.
Yes.
Right about there.
What is it with all the guys that you are around? They have big rigs. You think to attract these guys. One night I saw Chip strumming his guitar with his rig. You should have seen it. It's fucking crazy. That's right. All right, let me understand something.
See him tied in a knot.
Can you do that, Chip?
I can make a little watch.
How many inches do you think you are? Seriously.
I really don't know. It hasn't been a big thing of mine. I'm just grateful that I've.
Well, look at how big his hands are. You get an idea from his hands.
Yeah, it's never been a big deal about that. And people that are small and stuff, I say, God bless them, because there's other things you can do besides. You can dine and please the woman that way. You don't have to have a huge rig.
Have you ever, in a situation in rock and roll, where you pull down your pants and a woman goes, I'm out of here. I can't handle this fucking thing? Or they all comment?
They attack it.
They attack it.
Yeah, that's the Last Supper.
They love it.
Very, very blessed.
Out of all the rockers you guys have both seen, who has the biggest rig? Is it Chips enough?
I'd say Slash and Steven Tyler.
Look at this Slash, huh?
Yeah.
And Steven Tyler's got a big rig.
Huge, unbelievable. Well, geez, it frightened me. I was embarrassed to pull my thing out. I was like, oh, geez.
Wow. So
yeah, like you say, all the guys around. What the hell?
I don't get it. Imagine Tyler's got a big rig. He's a small guy.
Oh, look at his hands. He's got huge hands.
I got huge hands. I don't know what happened.
We got the Jew in us. It's the Jew.
I'm way Jew. I got slapped a yarmulke. All right, listen to me.
Hey, did you see my bar mitzvah picture in there?
Let me see that. I will take a look. How did you have a bar mitzvah if you were thrown out of the house?
My grandma.
Your grandma. Oh, she's a decent woman. I hope when you made money, you gave her a whole bunch of dough.
Oh, of course.
You did? Okay, let me see.
At the bar mitzvah.
Look, it's you doing the baruchas. Look at that. Here you go. Talk to me about
you see your picture in there?
Here's something. Let me see my picture.
Yeah.
I didn't know I made it in the book.
You're such a jag-off. You didn't even look at this, did you?
I'm going to look at it.
Son of a...
You think I know how to read? Let me see this. Oh, yeah, look at this. Look what's going on. Look how handsome I am. Holy mackerel.
Chiseled.
How chiseled. Good Lord. Hey, so Stephen, beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is, I
pictures.
think, for you. You keep
Thank
that.
you. Is it autographed?
No, not yet.
Later. All right. Stephen, I didn't understand something from the book. You say that, you only smoked heroin, you were afraid of needles. And then at one point you said, fuck it. And then you started shooting up.
Well,
That
I was so naive to it that when I watched Izzy and Slash, shoot up, I didn't even know that they had to put it in a vein, or find a vein, put it in there, draw blood. I thought they just stuck it in their arm anywhere and just shot it in there.
Yeah.
Right. Who knew?
I had no idea.
Right.
And then one night I let Izzy, do it. I said, everybody in the